The story begins with Seiichi, a high school student who is in a cave with a beautiful naked girl, who tells him that she loves him. At that moment, Seiichi remembers how he got to this place. A long time before, Seiichi was a fat, smelly and ugly high school student who was bullied by his classmates. Seiichi was lying on the classroom floor. A voice claiming to be a god tells all the students that they will be summoned to another world as heroes. The god gives them abilities, and tells them that they must form groups to go to the other world. No one forms a group with Seiichi, because of his awful stats, and they are all sent to the other world in groups, leaving him alone. The god realizes that he is alone, therefore he gives Seiichi an additional ability and sends him to the other world. Seiichi arrives at a forest, where he finds a strange fruit called evolution fruit. Seiichi, who is very hungry because he hasn't eaten anything since he arrived, eats the fruit, which tastes horrible, and has no effect after eating it. Seiichi finds a group of clever monkeys level 120, making potions. When the monkeys leave, Seiichi takes the opportunity to steal the potions and 9 evolution fruits from the clever monkeys. Elsewhere, the students from the school Seiichi attends are gathered in the same place. A group of students who are Seiichi's friends see a worried girl named Kanazuki, who tells them that it seems that Seiichi has been transported to another place. They hope he is safe. Seiichi is attacked by a clever monkey, and when the clever monkey is about to kill Seiichi, it dies due to Seiichi's bad smell. When the clever monkey dies, it drops a group of items containing the clever monkey's skills, meat, bones and a book with the clever monkey's knowledge. Seiichi realizes that it is because of his ability called complete dismantling. At that moment, a voice in his head tells him that the effects of the evolution fruit are activating. After the evolution, Seiichi realizes that he has slimmed down and his stats increased a lot. Months later, Seiichi is used to life in the forest and has gone through 9 evolutions. A huge pink gorilla attacks Seiichi, saying it wants to fight him. During the fight, the gorilla is surprised by Seiichi's abilities and introduces itself as Seiichi, a female gorilla. When he is about to be defeated by Seiichi, Seiichi tries to use his scent to attack Seiichi, however, instead of affecting Seiichi, it makes Seiichi fall in love with him. Seiichi grabs Seiichi and takes him away, saying that she will marry him. Seiichi takes Seiichi to her home, where she prepares delicious food and clean clothes for Seiichi. She also gives some magic books to him. Seiichi says that she will go out to find evolution fruits for Seiichi, because someone stole some that she had collected. She says that a person can only eat 10 evolution fruits, and if someone eats more than 10 they will die. Seiichi apologizes to her and confesses that he stole the fruits because he was hungry. Seiichi accepts his apology. Later, while Seiichi is fishing, Seiichi tries to escape but encounters a spider monster, which Seiichi easily defeats. Seiichi worriedly asks Seiichi if he is all right, and he realizes that she cares about him. Seiichi takes advantage of Seiichi's departure to flee to a strange place that the monsters he defeated have no information about. In another place, the students are arguing with the man who trains them because he won't let them go out to fight monsters. Kanazuki and her friends remember that the day that they arrived, the king gave them the mission to defeat the demon lord. As Seiichi runs away, Seiichi chases after him and tells him not to go there, but Seiichi ignores her and goes into a cave. Inside the cave, Seiichi encounters a skeleton, who tells Seiichi that he is the first human to get there. Seiichi sees that the skeleton's level is 1500. The skeleton named Zenos attacks Seiichi, and when he is about to hit him with his sword, Seiichi stands in front of Seiichi to protect him, and the skeleton runs her through with his sword. Seiichi wants to heal Seiichi, but she tells him that she is alive because of an ability and that she is practically dead. Seiichi is very sad and cries for Seiichi. The skeleton taunts them and Seiichi angrily attacks the skeleton. After fighting with the skeleton for a while, Seiichi manages to kill it by piercing the skeleton's chest with his sword. The skeleton thanks Seiichi for killing him, saying that he will now be reunited with his beloved Marie. Seiichi sees that Seiichi is glowing, and when he thinks she died, Seiichi evolves into a beautiful girl. After reading Zeno's story, Seiichi also begins his final evolution, with which he becomes more handsome. A small sheep in a suit appears in front of them and congratulates Seiichi for completing the dungeon. The sheep in a suit, who introduces itself as Edward, rewards Seiichi with the methods to cultivate the evolution fruit and 10 days of travel. Afterwards, he puts strange helmet on Seiichi and sends them out of the forest. Seiichi and Sayuri head to a city. On the way, Seiichi kills a slime and levels up. His helmet transforms into a robe from which a letter falls from Edward the sheep. Edward tells him that the tunic is to hide Seiichi's great power. Outside the walls of the city, they talk to Claude, a guard at the city gate. Seiichi tells him that they lost their identifications and that they will go to the Adventurers Guild to make new identifications. Claude with a frightened face warns them that they better not go to the Adventurers Guild. Seiichi doesn't listen to Claude and goes to the Adventurers Guild. There, they realize that the place is full of perverts. Seiichi tells Sayuri that they will get the identification somewhere else. The guildmaster, Gassel, a half-naked man, tells them they don't need to go elsewhere, and takes them inside to register them. While Seiichi is registering, two punks enter the guild and they take Seiichi to another place. They take Seiichi to an alley where they try to make love to Seiichi. Seiichi runs away in terror from them and returns to the guild, where he and Sayuri first meet Artoria Grem, an A-rank adventurer, who will supervise them on their first jobs. She introduces herself to them as Artoria of Calamity. Artoria takes them to a local church, where Sayuri stays to help care for some children. Artoria then sees a child fall and get hurt. She helps him. While she is helping the child, wooden poles fall on them, but Artoria stops them as if she knew what would happen. She and Seiichi later arrive at some ruins. The mission is to demolish the ruins, and when Seiichi enters the place, he hits a wall and ruins fall on him. Artoria runs to remove the debris, blaming herself for what happened. Seiichi emerges from the ruins as if nothing happened and Artoria scolds him for entering without her telling him. After completing the last mission of walking a dog, they go to the guild to get paid for their work. As Seiichi and Sayuri think about where to stay, Artoria invites them to stay at the place where she is staying, surprising Gassel and the receptionist Eris. They accept Artoria's suggestion. Seiichi and Sayuri continue to do test missions under Artoria's supervision. They have to collect basic medicinal herbs. Sayuri completes the mission easily, but Seiichi only finds rare items and fails to find basic herbs. He heads to the forest to look for the herbs again. While searching for the herbs, Seiichi comes across a group of demons who are up to something. Seiichi goes to ask them if they have seen herbs, but they send a troll to attack Seiichi. Seiichi stops the troll attack easily. The frightened demons run away from Seiichi. Seiichi fails to find the herbs, so Artoria gives the herbs to Seiichi to complete his mission. Elsewhere, the group of demons inform a demon woman named Leia that they set traps for the humans. The traps will teleport whoever steps on them to the dragon god's dungeon. Leia punishes the demons for doing things without her permission. The next day, Seiichi and Sayuri go hunting low-level monsters under Artoria's supervision. Artoria realizes that there are traps in the place, so she tells Seiichi and Sayuri that they should go back. However, Artoria accidentally steps on a trap. Seiichi and Sayuri run to help Artoria, and they are also transported to a dungeon. In the dungeon, Artoria gives Seiichi a stone that guides people to their party members inside the dungeon and glows red when their lives are in danger. Artoria steps on a trap that raises a wall in the path and she is separated from Seiichi and Sayuri. Seiichi tries to use the guide stone, but it doesn't work. Artoria walks through the dungeon, fighting monsters while she tries to find Seiichi and Sayuri. The two of them also look for the way to find Artoria. Artoria, very tired and hurt, arrives in a room where she meets a big dragon. She starts a fight against the dragon, but the dragon is very powerful and she cannot hurt it. Seiichi and Sayuri see that the stone given to them by Artoria glows red. Seiichi breaks the walls with his fists to go and save Artoria. Artoria uses a powerful ability called Camality Berserk to increase her power. However, the dragon uses its dragon tail to pierce Artoria's belly. the dragon uses a powerful breath of fire to finish Artoria off. When she is ready to die, Seiichi and Sayuria arrive on the scene and protect her from the dragon's attack. Artoria asks them how they got there. They explain that Seiichi broke the walls of the dungeon and they used the guide stone to get to Artoria. Artoria is injured and Seiichi gives Sayuria a potion to use on Artoria while he deals with the dragon. Seiichi engages in battle with the dragon, which claims to hate humans. During the fight, the dragon is about to use a powerful fire spell, but Seiichi stops it using a powerful water spell. Seiichi manages to defeat the dragon with the skills he gained during the battle. After the dragon's death, Seiichi collects the items and skills that the dragon dropped. While he and Sayuria are worried about how to return to Telbert City, Seiichi acquires a dimensional ability. Seiichi reads the dragon god's biography, which tells that long ago, the dragon god protected humans, but the humans wanted to use the dragon's body to create weapons and armor. When the humans attacked the dragon was saved by the demon lord. However, the humans summon the heroes from another world to defeat the demon lord and imprison the dragon in the dungeon. Seiichi uses his newly acquired dimensional ability to return to Telbert City with Sayuria and carrying Artoria in his arms. On the way, Artoria wakes up and thanks Seiichi and Sayuria for saving her. She shows Seiichi and Sayuria her stats and they see that she has a curse that makes Artoria's luck negative by 2 million. When they return to the guild, she realizes that the guild members were looking for ways to save them. Seiichi tells Artoria that everyone in the guild is very fond of her and doesn't care about her condition. She runs out of the guild and Sayuria asks Seiichi to follow her. When Seiichi finds Sayuria, he hugs her to comfort her saying that he will always be there for her. Seiichi remembers that he has a ring that he found in the dungeon, a ring that removes curses and doubles the wearer's luck. Seiichi gives that ring to Artoria. The ring breaks Artoria's curse and increases her luck to 4 million. Seiichi tells Artoria that they will be happy in the future, and that he will support her forever. Artoria, embarrassed and red-faced, runs away after hearing what Seiichi said. Seiichi realizes that his words sounded like a marriage proposal. Some time later, Seiichi tells Sayuria that he is worried because Artoria has been avoiding him. After parting ways with Sayuria to search for information about the heroes, he heads to the guild to ask Gassel and Eris, who tell him that a kingdom summoned a group of heroes to fight the newly reborn Demon King. They suggest Seiichi go to the library to learn more about heroes and the Demon Lord. Elsewhere, the king and the wizard who summoned the heroes decide to send the heroes to a magic academy and put some submission items on the heroes so that they won't rebel. On the other hand, Artoria is worried because she can't see Seiichi without her running away in embarrassment. In the library, Seiichi learns a lot of skills and spells just by reading magic books. After leaving the library, Seiichi buys a painting from a beast girl on the street. He then enters a bar where two men are. Seiichi asks the bar owner for something to eat and a man who introduces himself as Raisin asks Seiichi if he is new in the city. Seiichi replies that he is an adventurer who has just arrived in the city. Raisin introduces the owner of the place, Nord, to Seiichi. A woman named Adriana tells Artoria that she is in love with Seiichi and a proof of that is the ring she has on her ring finger. Nord and Raisin tell Seiichi that putting a ring on the ring finger of a woman's left hand means swearing eternal love to that woman. Seiichi is worried because he already has Sayuria and Raisin suggests Seiichi to swear eternal love to both of them. After Seiichi leaves the bar, Nord tells Raisin that it is too risky for him to go around without protection. Raisin tells him not to worry because a woman named Louisa, the best swordswoman in the kingdom, will come to pick him up. Seiichi heads to the hospice where Sayuria is to talk to her. At that moment, Artoria arrives to talk to Seiichi. She kisses Seiichi and confesses her feelings for him, saying that she fell in love with him and loves him. Seiichi worries because he already has Sayuria. Sayuria walks out of the hospice at that point and tells Seiichi to accept Artoria's feelings and that she doesn't mind sharing Seiichi with Artoria. Listening to Sayuria, Seiichi accepts Artoria's feelings by telling Artoria that he likes her too. Their friends congratulate them. Some time later, Gassel tells Seiichi that he should get a horse because horses are a necessity for adventurers, so Seiichi goes to a stable to buy a horse. The stable owner asks Seiichi if he also wants to participate in the Royal Cup, which is a race that takes place outside the city walls. He then introduces him to some species of horses and finally to a very violent donkey, which attacks the stable owner with its legs. Seiichi gains an ability that allows him to understand what the donkey is saying. The donkey tells Seiichi to enter its cage, however, when Seiichi enters the cage the donkey attacks him, but Seiichi stops its attacks and lifts the donkey, causing it to surrender. The donkey says that Seiichi is worth buying it, so Seiichi decides to buy the donkey. On the street, Seiichi buys food for himself and the donkey. Then while they are walking down the street, they see a guy telling the girl who sold the painting to Seiichi that she should enter a painting contest. The girl doesn't want to participate and Seiichi tells the guy to stop bothering her. The boy introduces himself as Kleiberga, a young painter, and he wants the beast girl named Mei to participate in the painting contest so they can both compete. Seiichi tells Mei that he will participate in the Royal Cup and get one of the first places to give Mei confidence to participate in the painting contest. Clay motivates them by saying that one of the prizes is a very delicious fish, which excites the donkey. On the day of the Royal Cup, Seiichi and the donkey named Lulu-ni will participate in the Royal Cup. They go for the 5th place prize, which is a delicious fish. They are not interested in the first place prize, which is a coupon to spend a day with a woman named Louisa, the leader of the Valkyries. The race consists of going around the city and arriving at the starting point. During the race, participants are allowed to attack other participants. The race begins, but Seiichi is in last place because Lulu-ni hadn't eaten anything all day. Seiichi searches for food in his bag and finds fruits of evolution and feeds them to Lulu-ni. One of the participants in the race uses an item to attract a pack of wolves and a giant wolf to stop her opponents. While the participants think whether to fight the wolves or retreat. Then they see Seiichi and Lulu-ni running towards them at full speed. Lulu-ni jumps over the other participants and attacks the wolves, defeating them with her powerful kicks. Seeing how powerful Seiichi and Lulu-ni are, the other participants retreat, therefore Seiichi and Lulu-ni win first place in the race, but they are not happy because they wanted to win the 5th place prize. Afterwards, Seiichi tries to comfort Lulu-ni, who is very devastated for not being able to get the prize that she wanted. At that moment, Lulu-ni glows with a dazzling light and turns into a beautiful girl. Seiichi, Sayuria and Artoria are surprised by Lulu-ni's transformation. Seiichi explains to Artoria that Lulu-ni evolved into a human thanks to the evolution fruit. Artoria doesn't believe Seiichi, so Sayuria shows her gorilla form to tell her that she was a beast before too. Afterwards, Artoria takes Lulu-ni to a store to buy clothes for Lulu-ni. While they are in the store, 2 female members of the Valkyries named Claudia and Lorna handcuff Seiichi and take him away without any explanation. On the other hand, the demon woman Leia arrives at a meeting room where there are gathered several captains of the Demon King's army. A demon named Kryze, who is the Demon King's assistant, is also present. When everyone is gathered, the Demon Lord's daughter, Luthia, who is the current Demon Queen, arrives. She informs those present that she is negotiating with the Kingdom of Wimberg to reach a peace agreement. Leia informs those present that the person who defeated the dragon god was a human from the Wimberg Kingdom. The other captains don't believe her, but she explains that the dragon god himself told her when she summoned his soul to ask him about his death. Kryze tells Luthia that he does not agree with Luthia's plan to get involved with the humans. However, the captains scold him for being insolent to Luthia. He storms out of the room telling them they will regret getting involved with humans. Later, while he is alone, Kryze says that what Luthia will do will affect their plan. Claudia explains to Seiichi that they are taking him to receive his reward of spending a day with the Valkyries. They take him to the Valkyrie training room, where he meets Louisa, the leader of the Valkyries, who gives a wooden sword to a nervous Seiichi, telling him that they will practice with the sword. The summoned heroes arrive at the Balbatter Magical Academy. Kanazuki and her friends are walking down, a hallway when they meet a guy named Ueyama who suggests to Kanazuki that they have a monster hunting competition. She rejects his suggestion, and when he provokes her she slaps him. They walk away thinking that this will not stay like this. Seiichi has a practice match with Louisa, who attacks Seiichi. However, he dodges all of her attacks. During the fight, Seiichi learns several new skills and defeats Louisa unintentionally. Louisa, who lost to Seiichi, is happy and calls Seiichi master. Claudia takes Seiichi to another place where she explains that Louisa had been a genius with the sword since she was young and had no friends due to her skills. Louisa then comes to thank Seiichi and asks Seiichi to be her master, to which Seiichi agrees. At that moment, they hear a shout and a maid runs to them telling them that the king was attacked by someone. Louisa and Claudia tell Seiichi to stay in his place while they go to check the situation. Seiichi doesn't want to stand still and uses his world vision skill to see what's going on. He sees the attacker running away quickly with his skill. In the Empire, the king and his advisor talk to the man who was training the heroes named Zakia. Zakia asks about the whereabouts of the heroes, and they reply that the heroes are slaves sent to the magical academy Balbatter. Kanazuki and his friends have an argument with Ueyama and his companions because they claim to be better than the common people since they are heroes. Seiichi and Rans are taking a bath while talking. Rans tells Seiichi that he has a dream to end the war between humans and demons. While Zakia is talking to the king and his advisor, someone tries to assassinate the king. However, Zakia blocks the arrow aimed at the king. After Zakia runs to find the assassin, the king and his advisor talk about King Raisin, who wants to form an alliance with the demons. The king says that he has already sent a powerful assassin to take Raisin's life. In Wimberg, Saeria, Artoria and Luluni arrive at the castle to check on Seiichi, though the real reason is Artoria's jealousy. In the castle, Lorna interrogates the girl who tried to assassinate the king. Lorna tries to make the girl talk using her hunger, but Seiichi stops her. They realize that the girl has a submission necklace, which means that someone ordered her to assassinate King Raisin. In the Empire, the king learns that the assassin that he sent to assassinate Raisin has failed and orders his advisor to give the order to the assassin to take her own life. Zakia is thinking if it is worth to continue protecting this empire and remembers the man who tried to kill the king. The man whose name is Shin told him that he wants to kill the king because the empire's soldiers killed his girlfriend, a demon woman, in front of him by order of the empire. After fighting against Zakia, Shin tells Zakia that he is a marionette of the empire and flees. Seiichi creates a new spell called President Lincoln to remove the girl's submission collar. The girl cries in happiness after Seiichi removes her submission collar. The girl introduces herself as Auriga, a cat girl who was separated from her family at a young age and was trained as a killing machine under the orders of the king of the Kaiser Empire. She tells Seiichi that her hands are stained with the blood of many people. Seiichi comforts Auriga by telling her that it was all the Kaiser Empire's fault. He tells Auriga that she can stay with him from now on, and be his younger sister. Auriga is worried that the Kaiser Empire will seek retaliation against Seiichi for getting involved with her. However, Seiichi tells her that he is very strong and will protect her. Seiichi gets Raisin's permission for Auriga to stay with him. The advisor of the king of the empire, Kaiser, and the demon, Cry speak through a crystal ball, and they have plans to do something against Luthia and the Wimberg kingdom. They claim to be servants of the dark god. Some time later, Seiichi and his group learn to control their magical power under the teaching of Florio, Luisa's brother. Luisa approaches Seiichi to request him to protect King Raisin as she leads the Valkyries to the kingdom's border, where an army of monsters battles the kingdom's army. Seiichi agrees to Luisa's request. A week later, Seiichi is still learning to control his magical power under Florio's guidance. Just then, Gassel and Eris arrive at the castle accompanied by an old man whom Florio recognizes as the holy sorcerer Barnabas. Barnabas introduces himself to Seiichi and Seiichi sees that Florio greatly admires Barnabas. Barnabas meets Raisin, who respects him a lot because he was Raisin's master. Barnabas tells Raisin that since the arrival of the heroes in his academy there have been many problems. Florio tells Seiichi that Barnabas is the headmaster of the magical academy Balbatter. At that moment, a soldier informs Raisin that an army of 5,000 powerful monsters is heading towards the city of Telbert. At the border, Luisa and the Valkyries in the company of a knight known as Black Paladin face a group of monsters. Cries, who observes the battle through a crystal ball, says that he will enjoy the massacre that will take place in Telbert without worrying about anyone stopping it. From the city walls, Seiichi and his party see the army of boss-class monsters heading towards the city. Sayuria and Lulu Ni are highly motivated for the upcoming battle. Gassel and the members of the Adventurers Guild are also ready for battle. The battle begins with everyone except Raisin, Barnabas and Seiichi joining the battle. Barnabas tells Seiichi to stay on the walls and watch everyone fight. Seiichi sees the guild members use a bunch of perverted attacks to kill the monsters. The members of his party also kill monsters easily. Barnabas uses a big spell to kill a lot of monsters. When everyone is happy for eliminating the threat of monsters, they receive the information about another bigger and more powerful army of monsters heading to Telbert City. The second army of monsters arrives and puts the people participating in the battle in trouble. Seiichi thinks of a way to defeat the monsters. Seiichi uses his skill to create spells and creates a powerful spell called Judgment, which attacks all the enemies on the battlefield, killing them instantly. Cries also receives an attack from the spell. After defeating all the enemies, Seiichi's level increases several times and his skills keep increasing, which makes Seiichi worried that if he keeps this up, he will one day stop being human. Raisin thanks Seiichi for his help and then goes to inspect the damage to the city walls. The members of Seiichi's party return excited by the powerful spell Seiichi demonstrated. Barnabas asks Seiichi to be a teacher in his academy, surprising Seiichi. However, he rejects Barnabas' invitation, saying that he must protect the city until Luisa returns and he does not want to be separated from his companions. Barnabas understands Seiichi and tells him that he can go to the academy as a teacher when Luisa returns. Barnabas also tells him that he can take his friends to the academy. Seiichi then accepts Barnabas' invitation. While he waits for the return of Luisa and the Valkyries, Seiichi spends his time having fun with Sayuria and the girls. On the day of the art contest, Mei presents a painting of Seiichi riding Lulu Ni, with which she wins the contest. Afterwards, Mei thanks Seiichi for giving her courage, and tells him that Clay's grandfather will take her to another city to study art. After saying goodbye to Mei, Seiichi sees Luisa and the Valkyries returning to the city. Luisa approaches Seiichi and they talk about Seiichi's journey to the Balbatter Academy. Seiichi tells Luisa to visit him sometime at the academy. Elsewhere, Cries communicates through a crystal ball with other followers of the Dark God. The Dark God communicates with them, telling them that they must create despair in people so that he can revive. Then one of the followers of the Dark God decides that their next target is the Magical Academy Balbatter, where the sons of nobles and powerful figures gather. Some time later, Seiichi and his party say goodbye to their friends in the city of Telbert, and they wish Seiichi good luck on his journey to the Balbatter Academy. In the carriage heading towards the academy, Barnabas thanks Seiichi for agreeing to go with him to the academy. As they talk, a strangely dressed man climbs on top of their carriage claiming to be a hero, and Seiichi guesses that he is another pervert. Seiichi wonders what will become of his life in this crazy world.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, Don't forget to subscribe and like it.